Good evening and welcome to Wednesday, February 13th, 2019 Planning Board meeting for the Town of Dudley. Present this evening, we have Gregory Benoit, member, Russell Giglio, member, Don Johnson, our town planner, Carol Savard, our clerk, myself, Guy Horn, chairman. First item on our agenda for this evening, approval of minutes from January 23rd, 2019. Somebody like to make a motion to accept the meeting minutes?
Move to accept the meeting minutes from Wednesday, January 23rd, 2019.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I wasn't at that meeting, but I watched it on TV and I read the minutes and it looks good to me. Our second item, agenda B, an A&R plan for Catherine A. Craig, property located at 89 Dudley Oxford Road. Do we have that?
Anybody here for that plan? I spoke to the...
Are you here for that plan, sir?
I am.
Okay. Could you come up and sign in and we'll review it for you?
I'm not the owner.
That's okay.
Okay, all right.
Are you representing like the engineer or something, or the land surveyor?
No, I'm just the agent
Okay.
for the land.
I spoke to the surveyor and noted to him that there was no stamp, no surveyor stamp on the plans, but
I'm sorry?
there's no surveyor stamp on the plan.
Oh,
I spoke to the surveyor about that, and he said that he was going to bring it in. I don't see him here, but
I mean, we can still take a look at it if everything else looks in order except for the surveyor stamp. We could vote on it for an approval, and Don would just hold it until we got the new plans with the surveyor stamp on it. Can you pass out the, or do we have small ones in our book, or is it there? The actual plan? Huh?
The A&R is in,
Is in the book? Okay.
Well, the A&R is, but do we have the plan?
the plan is here.
Okay.
it's right here.
Thanks, Tony. Platt Street, Central Ave.
That's the wrong one.
Wait, this is the wrong one. We'll look
The wrong
at
one.
something Dudley Oxford Road.
Do you want me to go grab the other one? Is
Yeah.
it on the table?
Just the
Well, it
one that
was.
got- Okay.
Sorry.
I looked at, that's approved.
Is this the one that we just tried to do last week that was?
I think so.
Turns out there's a paper street involved in this one. That's why it didn't come back yet.
Okay.
More research on that one.
Oh, this one?
Street that was accepted in 1823 or something like that. And it goes right through the property.
Is that-
Actually, one of the houses is on the property, so the surveyor's researching that, coming back with that one.
Okay.
Oh, no, that'll make it interesting.
All right, sorry about that, we're just grabbing the other plan. We only had
I
two.
got confused for a second because it was, it
Yeah.
said Dudley Oxford Road and it said Chase Ave, and I was like, well, those are two different areas.
Is there any information you can provide us on the A&R that's requested?
Is there any information?
Yeah, if you want to just maybe start covering it, like what kind of plan are you looking at for that property?
From what I understand, the buyer wants just to build a single-family home, that's all. And I think that's all zoning allows there.
Oh, here's Mason Road Extension.
Oh, okay, so we're up here. So is this lot existing right now, or
Is it listed?
is it existing? Is it an
Existing, yes.
it's an existing lot?
Yes.
So why are you proposing it as an A and R? Do you know that?
I think there was some surveying measurements that were readjusted, if I'm not mistaken. One of the lines didn't match the deed. What was on the ground didn't match the deed, so the surveyor made a little adjustment over here. I think that's what happened.
Okay.
So is it two separate lots that they're splitting? I mean, is it one lot that they're splitting?
It sounds like
Well,
that.
two
They were
separate lots.
actually two separate deeds, two separate tax bills. And from what the owners understood was they would have to have it surveyed. In order to sell it as a buildable lot, they would have to have it surveyed and then go before the planning board for sort of that final
Yep.
stamp of approval.
There's a minor adjustment to one of the lot lines, I think, is what.
So it's gotta be the center lot line that had to be
Yeah.
adjusted, so.
Yeah.
But they do have the 100-foot frontage. It's larger than 15,000 square feet. The setbacks are all there. It's already in the book and page is already there. All right, so are there any waivers, Dawn?
I didn't see any.
Did you get the check already?
You did get the check, you get the $200 check, yes.
Okay. Property taxes are paid. 5 copies.
The other thing about this one, too, it says that all owners must sign. And I spoke to the owner about that, and also about the surveyor, and I understood they were getting 2 more sheets, like, like you did, Guy, when you subdivided your property, your neighbors.
Yeah.
Getting 2 more sheets, so that each owner would sign one of the sheets.
Okay.
So I guess I'm still waiting for that, too, before we do final action. I don't know if they're coming tonight or not. I thought they would be, but.
All right, so the only thing that
I have the Form A signed by both owners.
You do?
Yes, yeah.
All 3?
Kathleen, Julianne,
There's a nephew, isn't there, or something?
and I can't read his name, but his
On
signature's here.
on behalf of the estate?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the only thing we doesn't have is it being stamped.
that and the fact that, scale. I didn't see that. Frontage equals 30 feet. All right, so I think I think we'll have to ask for 2 waivers. So, grant them a waiver on the scale of the drawing from 1 inch equals 40 feet to 1 inch equals 30 feet. And then I don't see the topography at 2-foot intervals.
Actually, isn't it? Is it 2 feet, or is it more than that?
Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry, I do see it. Okay, I didn't see it.
The first one.
Okay.
They have a
so-
separate sketch, too, for the driveway pitch.
Yeah, I saw the sketch for the driveway pitch. So really, the only thing they'd be looking for a waiver on is the scale, which isn't a big deal. So. All right, so like I said, we can probably go ahead and vote on this, but Don will hold the drawings. We can't sign it because the drawings aren't stamped.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll vote on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then Don will hold the drawings. If the land surveyor brings in new drawings that are stamped, Don can let us know, and we'll come back to the planning board office and sign off on it.
Okay.
But it won't have to come back before a planning board meeting. It'll just
Okay.
get signed off.
All right.
So, sorry about that, but.
That's okay. Thank
okay.
you.
All right, so we'd be looking for, first, a waiver for A&R plan of land. A&R plan is for Elias P. Spitz, Catherine A. Craig, 89 Dudley, Oxford Road. Deed date 8/31/1984. Deed book and page is book 83 57, pages 273, Dudley tax map 109, parcels 18 and 19. First thing we do is the waiver, so a waiver.
Notice the build factor isn't on there either, but it's obviously buildable.
Oh.
So,
Isn't it in the middle? I thought I saw that.
is it in the middle?
Yeah. Buildable area.
Buildable area, okay.
Yep.
So that's not the build factor.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think we need it, because it's so rectangular, it's obvious.
Right, yeah, that's not gonna be a problem, will it? So,
Because it had all kinds of jogs in it that made it
Right.
different, but, yeah.
yeah, should be fine. All right, so would somebody like to make a motion for the waiver for this A&R plan?
Make a motion to accept the waiver?
And the waiver's for the scale of the drawing from 1 inch equals 40 feet to 1 inch equals 30 feet.
I second that.
Motion a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. The next motion would be to accept the A&R plan. As mentioned, it's for Elias P. Spitz, Catherine A. Craig, 89 Dudley Oxford Road. Deed date is August 31st, 1984. Deed book and page is 8357, page 273, Dudley tax map number 109, parcels 18 and 19. Have a motion?
I move to accept the plan as stated.
Okay, and do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, all approved? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimously approved. So we'll do that, we'll hold on to these drawings until the engineer can either come back and bring his stamp and stamp these, and then we'll sign off on them, or if he brings a new set that are stamped, then we'll sign off on them after that.
Okay, great,
Right.
thank you.
Don, do you have the 2 copies of the paperwork? We could sign that tonight.
You made copies of that, didn't you?
Yep, just copies in it. So you have one original and then everyone has copies?
Oh, you might want to make a copy of this because it's got all the people's right signatures on it.
Oh, that's right.
He just brought this tonight. So if you don't mind, make one more copy of that. Okay, so she's making a copy of that. Okay. Thanks.
We didn't sign the minutes.
Sign those 2. Is that one copy that you have there? The top 2, if you can sign them, and get that off to Dawn. That one's for Dawn.
What was that voucher? You don't have the executive committee here, but I guess you can use the board vote to sign it, if need be, the voucher.
Yeah, we could have everybody sign it.
Yeah.
Majority would be enough, I would think.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can sign that. That line. You can sign on that blind line next to him. This one should be all set too. Okay. A&R is complete. Our next thing on the agenda, item C, annual report for 2018 due March 27th, 2019.
I added a few words on the front page. It's highlighted in the one in your book, just to do a couple other zoning articles that we did in FY 18, actually. That's it. And
Okay.
I'm gonna check too on the, couple of statistics, but I just wanna, nothing's changed really in the content.
Yeah.
You wanna add, subtract?
No, I had read the other one that you provided on the email, and I thought it looked really good. Tells the story of the last year, that's what it's supposed to do, so I think we're good with that.
You were vice chairman at the time, so.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. That was a good job, Don, thanks for doing that. Anybody else have any comments on it? They all have a chance to just take a look at it?
Yeah, I took a look at it, everything looked good.
Yeah.
I wasn't
I mean,
around for then, so.
it goes into the annual report, that's basically what we submit every year, more or less. Just kind of fill in the blanks from one year to the next. Get the highlights. So, okay, next year's will be a little bit more busier with 2 subdivisions and everything going on. Okay,
You only had the preliminary plan through this, you didn't get the definitive until
right,
September.
all right, next is item D, discussion status report on finishing construction of and acceptance of uncompleted, unaccepted subdivision streets, including Pierpont Estates, Rocky Hill Estates, Piasta Road, Country View Estates, Tobin Farm Estates. And I believe we have Pierpont Estates with us.
Night.
Come on up, Tony, sign in, please.
How is everybody?
We're here.
Good.
So, item D.
Sorry about that.
Take them both. So Tony, were
I
you,
got 2. You want one?
Got 2 in here.
Oh, okay. I had 2.
Yeah, there's 2 different
there's
ones.
2 different ones.
Oh.
Yeah, there's 2.
One for a new section and one for the existing section.
Yeah, there's 2 letters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tony, were you copied on these letters dated February 12th? So that was yesterday?
Yes, I do.
So you have them both?
Yeah.
Okay. So based on our consultant town engineer, Graves Engineering, I believe it was Jeff Walsh, that went out and did the inspections. Yep, Jeffrey Walsh. So he's recommending that we have a new total for the security for Phase 1, 2A, 2B, total rounded to $129,000.
Yes.
Okay. And then on the second letter from Mr. Walsh, sorry. On the second letter, this is Phase 2C, he's calling it. He's saying we should hold a security rounded to $46,000.
Yes, to looking for the release of 3 lots, 3 new lots.
Okay? 3 lots in the new 2C phase.
Right.
Okay.
What lot numbers are those, by the way?
It's lot 4, 4, 5, and 42.
4, 5, and 4.
4, 5, and 42, right?
Okay. So we got
What's the current bond right now?
It's 278, if I'm not mistaken. Tony, do you know what your current bond is? Do you know what your current bond amount is
current total.
The total bond?
that we have right now?
in that
I don't have
range,
any,
278.
okay, I don't, the total bond on the Hall Street, or,
Yeah, for the amount that we have in a bond right now for the phase 2A, 2B, and phase 1.
we had a 257. Yeah.
It's about half.
So according to Mr. Graves, we should be holding 175 for the two phases.
Yeah, but they'll be separate, like I have to come up with the bond.
Right, so one for 129 and one for 46.
Right, so, what I may do, I may do a cash bond with the town. Okay, I'm gonna check with the town boss
Mr.
tomorrow.
Carmignati?
Yeah.
The town treasurer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Would that release, what's the company that you have the first two phases with? Hill, will that release Hill Financial? Because if we do that, we'll have to post a new instrument to include the lots or something or other. We'll have to rewrite the instrument. the holding.
Yes. Yeah, so I have to talk to you tomorrow. You're gonna be in tomorrow, right?
Okay. I mean, you can vote it that way, but I'm just saying that if Tony comes up with the cash, he'll have to rewrite the agreement. Let's say we allow him to release his financial interest in Hill
Mhm.
and do it with the bank or whatever.
So what are you looking for from us tonight? You want a reduction?
Okay, I'd like to get the reduction on the bond, the three, from 257 to 129.
Yep,
That's what I was looking for, because now I have the cash for that bond,
okay.
okay? And I'm going to check with the bank. I mean, I'm all set to the bank on the other 46
The
for the
46.
three lots.
Okay,
So I want to talk to Don tomorrow and see what the town prefers. If it prefers like a letter of credit from the bank, then I'll give the money to the bank and get a letter from the bank. Or if they want a tri-party agreement, or whatever the town wants. we'll
Cash
do
is
it.
good.
It's okay with me. Right now, it's okay with me. A month ago, it wasn't. Today is okay.
We deposit it with the treasurer, and he'd put into a separate account, and you get the W-9 form, and
Yeah.
you sign off on that, and
Yeah, what I'm gonna need, I'm gonna need something from the town so I can go back to Hills, because he's holding my money there. And say, okay, there is
so you need a letter from us saying that we release the interest in that, right?
right, something that he's gonna trust to give me that check.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's handle the first section first. So the first thing we're looking at is a bond reduction from a total of $257,000 for the first three phases of the project, which was Phase 1, Phase 2A, and Phase 2B, down to a total of $129,000. So would somebody like to make a motion to reduce the bond from $257,000 down to $129,000 based on the recommendation of our consultant town engineer?
I so move.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
A motion,
Before that, I just want to bring something up, that there's three different instruments involved here. There's two lenders' agreements from Hill Financial, and there's one from, was it Webster?
Hometown Bank?
Hometown Bank, okay. Hometown Bank, yeah.
Mhm.
So that I'll probably have to, if Tony comes up with the cash for the whole thing, we'll just have to rewrite those agreements.
Right.
So that if we hold the cash, we can put an agreement to that effect, but we just have to list the lots that it releases.
And we'll give them, if you want to type up a letter to that effect and you need it signed, you can call me and I can come in and sign it.
I guess you can sign that as the town planner, agent of the planning board, whatever.
All right, but if you want me to sign it, let me know. All right, so we have a
We'll
motion.
have to release, when he comes in with the cash, that amount, we'll have to accept the cash and release Hill's interest.
We'll leave the details to you, Don. You know what you're doing.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to be aware and do it anyway.
Okay. No
I don't
problem.
know all the details, but
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Okay. And then on Phase 2C, this is your newest section that strips going
Yep.
from the top of the
Yes.
hill up to the
Right at the
back?
top of the hill.
All right, and you were looking to, so you're gonna post a bond for a total of $46,000 based on what consultant town engineer has provided to us. And then once that bond's posted, we can take a vote on, so you're looking for lot releases for lot 4, 5, and 42.
I'm not sure it's 41 and 40, or 42. I believe it's 42.
I got the
Yeah.
plan here if you want to take a look to be sure.
But I like to because.
Let's take a look, so we don't vote on the wrong
Plan
thing.
you. The original plans, so.
Thank you.
Jeez. How did that happen there?
Don, do you have the paperwork made out yet for the lot releases?
I didn't have the form yet because I didn't know what lots they were at this point.
Okay.
So. He's got this,
So we'll have to,
Warning,
if
so-
we vote on it now, we'll have to,
come inside it,
we'll fill up with the paperwork after and come in and sign it.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Close. You're on the right side of town, but
Sorry. Didn't look quite right, huh?
You don't look
This one. A little more weather than.
Lot 4. Lot 4R. Lot 5R. And it's 41R.
So there's 4 lots.
no, 3. 5, 4R?
Oh, I thought he said 4 and 4R.
No, 4R, 5R, and 41R. And the R is just because the lot lines were redrawn at some point in time.
Means revised, whatever.
Yeah, what's
Yeah,
something to do with the lot line?
Yeah,
readjusted.
yep. All right, so, we can make a motion to release lots 4R, 5R, and 41R, provided that you
Keep up with it.
you bring the bond in for the 46,000, and Don will catch up the paperwork for it, and then we'll come in and sign it for you,
Okay.
once it's done. Would we have a motion to release lots 4R, 5R, and 41R in the newest section of Pierpont Estates, which is Section 2C?
Subject to release of a suitable surety agreement.
Right, subject to release on the surety agreement and the paperwork being filled out for the lot releases.
I so move.
Okay, we have a motion
Second?
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous? You're all set, Tony.
Thank you.
Get your
And,
details worked out, and
We should be able to connect that whole thing this year.
that'll be good.
Hey, Tony, real quick, on phase, the first one we revised the estimate for, I know last time you were here, we talked about the trees. Did you happen to get anywhere with that?
That was part of the, that was part of this, if you look at it, there was a change. We find, I don't know, 100 and some trees on the, on all the lots. But again, after deducting those, I still after, I think I still have to do 33 trees,
Okay?
Yeah.
which I have to talk to the neighbors, I mean, everybody,
Right,
all right, and get a permission from them.
Yep.
Okay, and if everybody's okay, otherwise, what should I do? Get a letter from them that if they don't allow me to do?
if they don't allow you to, if they don't want a tree or they don't allow it, I mean, we can't force them to have you go on their property and plant a tree, but, I mean, you know, the other offer you could make to them is you could give them a tree and they could plant it themselves if they didn't want you to plant it. If they refuse that, come back to us and let us know, and, yeah, have a letter from them, and we'll adjust it. I mean, maybe you put 2 trees on some other lot that will accept them.
Yeah, I'll talk to everybody, because I'm waiting, Jeff's supposed to supply me with a little plan.
Mm-hmm.
I worked all things with Jeff, and that's how we agree how many trees we should put 2 over here one day, whatever.
Right.
And, but he's supposed to give me a little plan, and he asked me to go there and put a stick where the trees are going, and then talk to the
To the neighbors.
people,
Yeah,
see if they're okay with that.
yeah, that sounds fine.
And then I'll be in touch.
And hopefully you can get the stick in the frozen ground, or,
I'm supposed to be 60 tomorrow, so it might be okay.
It was, couldn't throw about that much.
yeah, short sticks.
Well, everything is falling in place, so
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
much happier today then.
Thanks, Tony.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Okay, so, Don, I'm guessing we don't have any, we do have the letter that, is that in here for Tobin Farms? Or is it just a copy that I signed? All right, so we're gonna be sending out a letter basically to the town administrator and the Board of Selectmen, having to deal with Tobin Farms, basically saying, the planning board, as you know, has been working with the developer of Tobin Farms for some time to have the streets within the subdivision accepted as public ways. The board will support you and the Board of Selectmen's effort to place an article to accept the streets on the May 2019 annual town meeting warrant. Please continue to work with the town planner in order that all acceptable paperwork and materials are submitted within the time frame necessary to have this acceptance completed this spring. Thank you. And please let us know if we can provide any further assistance in this manner. It's from Planning Board. I signed it as the chairman. And we're sending this off to the town administrator, basically just saying we're trying to work with Tobin Farms to finish it up and get it accepted. So that one's, hopefully can get crossed off the list for next year.
I saw George Slingo last week, he told me about this, and he also said that he said he still had to meet with the town treasurer to work out the financial part of it, but
Okay.
he's gonna take care of that with Rich.
Yeah, I mean, we had a meeting with the Board of Selectmen, and they came up with a reasonable
Yeah.
plan to finish it, so as long as the developer's willing to do it, then I don't think we should have a problem. Yep. All right, so that takes us down to item E, final inspections associated with site plans, including AMP Solar. Was there anything on that this week or this month? No, okay. Potential zoning bylaw amendments for the 2019 annual town meeting, including housekeeping article to amend the zoning for properties along Marshall Terrace. So that's under item F. So just to refresh everybody's memory, the Marshall Terrace item was the situation where there's multiple lots in a row over there. Some are even under 10,000 square feet. Previously, in Business 15, were allowed to build on 10,000 square foot. It was basically residential construction, and Business 15 was allowed with the same parameters as Residential 10. There was, back in 2008 or 9, I believe it was, there was a bylaw change that required Business 15 building, if you had a lot in Business 15 and you wanted to build residentially on it, you still had to follow the Residential 15 zoning. It was kind of like a loophole that people were getting to build on a smaller lot in a zone that was still 15,000 square feet. So that law went through. There hasn't been any repercussions from it that I know about, except for these particular 3 lots. And what the situation is on Marshall Terrace is you've got some lots that have been previously built on, so they're obviously non-conforming now. They're 8,000 square foot lots with a house on them, and this one resident had a lot that was 12,000 square feet and would like to have a 10,000 square foot lot to sell off, and take the remaining 2,000 square feet from the 12,000 square foot lot and add it to a bigger lot that she also owns. They're side by side. So she wouldn't make the 15,000 either way. She went to ZBA and they said they weren't granting her a variance. So I do think in this situation where, you know, there's never gonna be any business in that area. It's a small little circle that goes around. All the lots out there are 8,000 to 10,000 square feet. It only makes sense that we change this, I believe, 4 lots in a row that we can change to.
There were, 4 in a row, and then 2 that are hers.
Right. So we're basically looking at lots, if you look at the map.
She said that she's been in contact with 2 of those people, but not the one that's in the corner of Brandon Street. She hasn't been in touch with that person, but she's been in touch with the others.
So we would be, we're not changing anything for lot 52. And we don't have to change anything for lot, well,
Well, I think you do have to change it for lot 52. Yes, this is a 6,000 square foot lot, right?
but it's past, it's in the Res 10 zone already.
I don't think it is. I'm not sure. Well, I'm not sure if it is, because if you look at the map, it kind of goes around the corner. And if it extends 500 feet, then it does go into that lot.
It does?
It's around the corner a little bit too.
Okay. All right, so we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do all 6 lots. I mean, it's not any harder. And the more lots you have, the less chance of the Attorney General coming back and saying it's spot zoning, because they typically look at anything 3 lots or greater as not spot zoning, but here we have a total of 6 lots, so it'll just be a correction for those 6 lots. But the 2 lots, I think 64 and 65 are already built upon. 63, 64, and 65 are already built upon. And only one of them meets the 10,000 threshold, so it won't solve the problems for 64 and 65. They'll still be non-conforming, but they'll be less non-conforming. So I think that's a pretty good situation for I mean, I think for us, it's not a difficult thing to do, and I think it'll help all those people at some point in time.
Petitioner told me that they didn't even know that they were in residential. They weren't residential lots, as far as the zoning is concerned.
Okay. And then the other article that you wanted to bring forward was just basically housekeeping or typographical errors and corrections to.
Can we go through that, though?
Say that again?
Can we go through that?
You want to?
There's a few things I'd like to check with the board.
Sure, go ahead.
The first one, that's the wrong word. Separability, should be severability. Naturally, I'll check all this out with town council as well. Make sure that's right. The zoning districts. There were really 7 designations and 13 separate districts within those designations. So, and down below, the establishment of districts, additional text, as in, we have the conservation district listed, but we don't say where to find it. It's on the map, but there's no text for it, other than that section in the zoning bylaw, so it adds the section 3.01, floodplain 3.02, town refuse disposal district 3.07, and the overlay districts weren't even referenced, so I just typed in some kind of reference to the overlay districts.
Okay.
Some terminology they lifted out of another bylaw, even another state, looks like Rhode Island terminology, actually. So the word zoning agent, either Connecticut or Rhode Island. Zoning agent is more of a Connecticut phrase. Should be building inspector. And agent to the words building inspectors and change the word zoning board of review, that's what they call it in Rhode Island, so it's, we should be zoning board of appeals. Just to make the text consistent. Use district chart. Remember when the recreational marijuana amendment, we made a new category called special permit by planning board?
Yep.
Site plan, SPPB. So we just changed that. Because I can stop doing that. For some reason, no, number 5, for some reason, the section on open space residential made a reference to the, relating to the rules and regulations relating to the subdivision of land. It should be the rules and regulations governing to the subdivision of land, not relating. So this is one of the changes about. And there was a section in there about within 90 days of submittal. I'm wondering why it says that. It's doable. You want to make it that way, but you know, generally the special permit, 65 days to hold the hearing and 90 days after the hearing to make a decision. This is within 90 days the decision will be made. If there's no problem with leaving it that way, but you know, I just wanted to bring that up to how the board feels about it.
So you're proposing get rid of the 90 days after the submittal because it starts the clock ticking at the,
So
after.
clock starts ticking for the first 65 days to hold the hearing, and then
Right.
90 days after the hearing.
Right, so we have a total of 155 days, and you think this is putting us,
Putting it in a box, which it
Yeah.
works, because, you know, obviously it worked in the,
yeah,
the one for,
well, it's close, 90 days is closer than 155, but if we legally have the right to take the 155 days, I think we should have the ability to do it, not limit ourselves to 90 days.
okay, I'll reword that then, so,
Yeah,
it's, you know, the 65 and the 90.
yeah.
Okay.
Number 7,
That's the mill overlay district.
yeah,
The second paragraph, correct the spelling error by removing supersede and replacing with supersede. Okay, that speaks for itself. Change the third sentence in property identifications to read as follows. For some reason in the book, the property identifications are the old numbers, and they're very confusing. The assessors use it, they had something, they had a map that had a grid on it, and rather than referring to just a map and the lot number, made reference to the grid on the map as well as the one map and lot number. It was a really confusing system. I don't know why it ended up in the bylaw. This was 2003 when this went in originally. So the first 3 will be revised to the current map and lot numbers.
yep,
The 4th one is on the map, but it's never been in the text. So we're adding it.
so that's
It's on the
right.
map all this time, as far as I know.
Yep.
Plainly on the map. It's on the text, so we'd be adding it to this.
Right,
That's what that one's all
so
about.
just, it was something that was omitted on the first bylaw.
Yeah. Section 312 on site plans, the 21-day appeal period. I'm not sure about why that's even there. I want to talk to town council about it. There's a 21-day appeal period, it says. It's a 20-day appeal period, if anything. But the problem is that a site plan isn't referenced in the statutes. There's no reference for an appeal on a site plan, because consequently, it's not there. The only reference in the statute that they recite here has to do with special permits. That's the time frame for special permits.
Okay,
And there's no appeal process under section 17 of chapter 40A, like deal with a special permit or a variance. There's no appeal process available for that in particular. The only thing that it comes under is the building inspector goes to issue a building permit. The site plan wasn't signed off by the planning board, so we can't issue the building permit, so they appeal his decision essentially, like the zoning board of appeals. It's usually the way it works. I'm not sure if you can put a reference to section 17, because that's not for site plans per se. It seems like you wouldn't be able to do that for a site plan by right anyway.
okay, so you're gonna check out town council?
Check with town council on that one.
All right, that would be something to have straightened out before it comes up.
The thing I want to check with town council too is the one below. It says certified mail. The statute, it just says by mail postage prepaid, not certified. Our bylaw says certified. I don't know if we want to continue with that, because you know how it's been.
Right,
You have people don't claim their mail, and then it comes to the end of the hearing date, and the time to make a decision, they say, we weren't informed. Why weren't we informed? Why weren't we informed? Well, you can pick up your mail, but you send it by first class. Sure to get it, but
Yeah, I mean, I think
I don't
the,
know, you know, they both have their benefits.
right,
What
Well,
about a
when-
certificate of mailing?
Yeah.
when you're talking to town council, ask him what his recommendation would be. If he thinks we should keep it certified, or receipt requested, or what. I mean, the good thing with the certified mail is we get the receipt back and we know that it went to the person on such and such a day. If they didn't go down to the post office to pick it up and sign for it, that's not really our problem.
Yeah.
But, you know, I understand what you're saying. They'll come back and say, I wasn't notified because I didn't go pick it up, but, you know, that's,
You do it both,
you know,
certified and first class.
You could do that.
cost twice as much.
No, it's $6 and change to send it certified, it's 40 cents or 50 cents now to send it
You know,
first class.
What'd you say about,
Certificate of mailing. You would bring a list of the addresses that the letters are going to, and the post office verifies that you have a letter going to each address, so it's a certified mailing, so to speak, but without the cost of $6. I think it's
used to be a proof of,
60 or 90 cents.
there used to be a proof of
It's a lot
delivery
cheaper.
system you could use, to a proof of delivery. You go online and find it,
Mhm.
but there wasn't a return receipt card, so I'll check into those options.
Yeah, see what town council has to say. I mean, every town's gotta do something similar.
Another thing too is the, in fact, it's recent case law too. Statute says abutters and abutters to abutters within 300 feet. It doesn't say all abutters within 300 feet. It doesn't say all properties within 300 feet. Likewise, it only says across the street. It doesn't say 300 feet across the street.
Okay.
So I'll check with town council on that one too.
Yep.
So we don't need to notify everybody within 300 feet. Sometimes it gets pretty tedious, especially if you get an R10 neighborhood.
Right, because the lots are so small. That brings us up to 10.
And then the rest of that is just language of the statute that wasn't in the bylaws, so.
Planning board acting as the special permit granting authority.
There was no provision for the planning board to be the special permit granting authority in particular. I mean, there's nothing referenced that says that they follow the same procedure as the ZBA, but obviously that was the intent. That's what we've been doing.
Right.
And then associate member, we've been saying alternate member.
Right.
Because it says alternate member for zoning board members, but not for planning board members, is it? We'll just change that on the letterhead and keep using the, so I'm gonna put that there sort of for your reference. We changed the heading number, but we would still use the same terminology.
It's
It's
okay.
really associate, not alternate.
Alternate, okay.
Section 5.04.09F, that's something else that I want to check with the town council. I'll check 48.7, section 17 in the site plan section, if that's the right way to approach that. It may not be. I'll check with town council on that one.
Okay.
Anything else that anybody can think of? That's what I came up with.
Oh, I think it's good that you're doing it, because, I
Should we
mean,
do it all in one article, or do we want to split it up?
I think it would be easier for the people to comprehend if it's in one article. If we split it up into a bunch of articles, they're gonna think we're changing everything. I mean, I understand we are changing a lot of things, but I mean, as long as I've been here, nobody's gone through and read every bylaw and said, is this right or wrong? And,
I haven't read every word, I don't think, but this is what I've come up with.
right. So, I mean, if these things are jumping out at you, and you're a professional person for this work, I mean, then, you know, the least we can do is correct it if we know it's wrong.
Yeah.
And I think we'd have a lot easier explanation at town hall if we say it's one article and it's changing multiple parts of the zoning, but it's basically all these either typographical errors or things that were omitted or things that are just plain wrong to begin with.
Yeah.
And we can state that we've had, town council's review and input, and we're following their input.
Well, there's another category for overlay districts, obviously, and that's It's a bit of reference to it that we had before.
And that whole thing that you caught about Packard Mill not being on the, it was on the map, but not in the text, so at least now that'll be covered, 'cause if somebody wants to do something with that property, it'll, nobody can question that it's not part of the mill overlay, so that'll be good. All right, so it takes care of that. We have no public hearings.
You need to vote for the zoning map amendment?
No, right now what we would do is we would, you mean on these warrant articles?
No, the one we were talking about before that with the Marshall Terrace lots?
No, that's it, that's gonna be a warrant article also.
Oh, okay.
So what we'll do is, we will sponsor an article on the warrant, and we'll hold a public hearing, and we'll vote after the public hearing. So,
If you want to hold the public hearing, you can really hold it any time now.
yeah, I mean, is the warrant open yet?
No, it doesn't have to be open necessarily, as long as the selectmen,
Well, I thought we needed to know what article number it was gonna be to advertise it properly.
no,
No? Okay,
to give a description.
just give it
There
this.
was 6 months after the, how long do you have to, anyway, it's, the town meeting is 6 months after the planning board hearing,
Okay,
vote on it.
Right.
No matter what date it was submitted.
all right. But I thought that they usually open the town warrant in usually February or March, yeah. Should be coming up very soon. Okay, yeah, so we'll have at least 2 articles on there, the one for Marshall Terrace and the one for cleaning up the zoning articles.
Probably need a while to talk to the council about that, though.
Yeah, yeah, get that all straightened out.
I'm having it the first of April, probably.
Yeah, I mean, even if we have this public hearing in April, we're good. Because we have to be like, what, 2 weeks before the town meeting, minimum? Or 4 weeks?
Well, if the town meeting and the hearing are separated by more than 2 weeks, the town meeting can vote on it without a report from the planning board. If it's within the 2-week period, 23-week period, actually,
You need the report from,
you report from the planning board for the town meeting to vote on it.
right, so if we can get this done by, like, the first meeting in April, I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right,
You know, about the town report, I want to send, away without, I'll check back on the statistics and other things, but
yeah, the town,
send it through as it was.
the town report looks good, and if you need me to sign it, just give me a call, let me know, and I'll come in and sign it.
Okay.
So that brings us down to G, discussion on the status of the economic development planning, including the integration of the 2015 Village District Study with results of Village District Walk, Phase 2 Economic Development Strategic Plan and potential priority development village district areas, and progress on agricultural planning, receipt of energy and environmental affairs planning assistance grant with Webster for economic development, commercial corridor planning, relationship to Phase 2 Economic Development Strategic Plan, DLTA funding.
I've met with CMRPC folks, but I haven't met with Webster yet, so we'll
Okay.
do that next couple of weeks. So this is the project. If you want to take a look through, I didn't make a copy for everybody, but I certainly can if you want me to.
Okay.
So that ties everything together, really, everything we've been doing for this whole thing. And the completion date on that, I think it's 2020, I think it's June 30th, I believe. So, if you would like a copy of that, I'll certainly get it for you. I don't want to kill any more trees than I had to.
Yeah, I mean, why don't you, if this is important, I'll make a copy for everybody, we'll have it in the next meeting.
Okay.
Look, yeah.
Sure.
that'd be good. Rather than trying to pass it around now. That'd be good.
No problem.
You can always make 2-sided copies. That's not too bad.
We kill half as many trees.
Okay, and
Also, we had the hearing last meeting,
last meeting,
and the selectmen also had a hearing on Monday night. So they're endorsing the CDBG project, and hopefully we get some money.
okay,
Looking to do infrastructure, utilities in those 2 sections of town, on
Mhm.
Brandon Road, Brandon Street, whatever it's called,
Brandon
and what you call Jericho.
Road. So it's down Schofield Ave.
Schofield Ave and around the mill,
Mhm.
the Stevens Mill. Apparently there's some sidewalks over there that are in
In disrepair?
kind of tough shape, so
Yeah.
we went through the sidewalks, and drainage is a big factor, I think, along the Schofield Avenue area.
And a lot of that area is in the aquifer protection, so,
That too, right?
okay.
Biggest part of those two areas is,
All right, next on the agenda, H, comments from the planning board. Any comments? And I, comments from the audience. I don't think we're gonna get any.
I don't hear anything.
Say that again?
I don't hear anything.
You don't hear any? Okay, we already filled out the vouchers, so,
I'll just tell you one more thing that
Sure.
I'm working on with, I'm gonna get in touch with the highway superintendent. There's a grant program out there. Greg asked me to look into it, not other Greg. And,
town
it's a
administrator.
program, yeah.
Okay.
It's a program to, revamp culverts that are malfunctioning.
Okay,
And apparently there's one out on Carpenter Road, Carpenter Brook, that area.
Yep.
Sort of, it's just above Woodstock, at the corner of town.
mhm.
So we're taking a look at that, and maybe we can get something to fix that up.
Yeah,
I'm
so
working
that's,
on that. It's due March 20th.
okay, so you would be actually making a submission for a grant.
I'm sorry, before what?
You'd actually be making a submission for a grant.
Yeah, well, not me, but it's to the selectmen naturally, but I'm working on it, yeah.
You're working on the paperwork.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's good news. Okay,
That's the rest of the planner's plate today.
that was it?
That's it.
Okay. If we don't have anything else, we don't have any public motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
We have a motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous? Thank you and good night.